Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have The Never King by Nikki sent Crowe. So this is the first book in this series. There's 3, which I've only just found out. There's a 3rd book. So in childhood, fandoms gave us the first 2 books in this series, and wow. This even right, this cover, amazing. Never let him take you. This book is only like this. Look how thin this book is, right? This is a day read. Absolute amazing book. The tension of sexual stuff inside was, oh my gosh, like, oh, okay. There was a lot of scenes about sex and stuff like that. So this is a retelling of Peter Pan, but this is not a kid's book to read. I tell you now, this is for more of the adults, guys. If you're not an 8 and someone who's over 18, do not read this, I swear. They got juicy, and I can't wait to read the 2nd book. So anyway, this is the back. The stories were all wrong. Hook was never the villain. For 2 centuries, all the darling women has disappeared on their 18th birthday. Sometimes they're gone for only a day, some a week or a month, but they always return broken. Now, the afternoon on my 18th birthday, my mother is running around the house making sure all the windows are barred and the doors are locked. But it's pointless, because when the night falls, he comes for me, and this time, the Never King and the Lost Boys aren't willing to let me go. And it even tells you what stuff is inside it. Okay, so we meet. It is signed by the author, by the way. I can't remember her name. Winnie. Winnie Darling is one of the ancestors of the original Darling, Wendy. So her mother Mary was originally kidnapped and informed by Peter. And she's gone basically mad. So they've moved around ever since then. Blah blah blah. So that her daughter Winnie would not get caught by Peter, but they've just moved to a different house. They have the same trunk that Wendy Darling used to have when she was there, before she passed away, which I cannot believe the stuff I found out. So we find out a lot of situation, but we find out the original Lost Boys are not actually in here. The guy called Toodles were actually complaining against Peter because apparently you have 2 shadows. One for death and one's for good. Oh my god, those seagulls are going loud. Sorry if you can hear them. But let's just say this book got quite kinky, quite hard to turn to. Like you have to either finish the book or you just have to leave for a while. So I really had to shut this window. The birds were loud, and it's like 5:30 in the evening. So the night of Winnie's 18th birthday, right? She gets taken by Peter. Peter then takes her to Neverland. But Neverland is not what it thinks. She did think that Peter Pan was a myth, a legend, nothing that exists, until she meets him. This guy who is a twat. I have to say that, sorry, but yeah. He basically tells the Lost Boys not to allow to screw her. They're not allowed to screw a darling. But because Winnie has screwed other guys, she kind of tempts the Lost Boys to do so. When they do that, and there's a lot of that in the book, even though the book's very small and it shows a lot of the imagery in your head. You're like, oh, okay. Then we find out a lot of things, that the 2 boys that are the twins were actually fae people. They are fairies. They're descendants of Tinkerbell. We find out that Tink died. I was like, oh no, Tink died, and then we find out the reason why. Peter killed Tink because Tink killed Wendy. Wendy was in love with, because Peter was in love with Wendy, and Tink was in love with Peter, but she couldn't have that, so she killed Wendy, and so Peter killed Tink, but Tink knew that this would happen, something like this, and basically buried his shadow in the trunk, so it would not happen again. So every darling that generated throughout the years on the 18th birthday, the fake queen, which is the twin sister, the twin brother's sister, will go into their minds and find out how or where the shadow is kept. And we find more and more the situation where we're like, oh, okay, what's going on here? So we find a lot of stuff that's going on. But at the end, they do come back to find out that the trunk, the brownie, was basically involved with Tink as well, because he's always been on Tink's side and he doesn't like to be. He was like, Peter, we do not want you to be the king again. You're ruthless, you're rude, you're disgusting. But the thing is, I feel like Winnie has changed his mind the way everything has happened, and it's crazy to think that. So they change it all up, and they go back to Winnie's house where her mum's slowly waiting to see if she's crazy or not. The fact she isn't, Winnie then understands that she loves to go back to Neverland and help Peter find his shadow. And I think that's so cool. I literally cannot wait to read the next book. I am going to end it here because I already said too much about the book, which is quick and easy, you know. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.